Guys, yeah, you got me, Neil the Deal, right here, talkingfight.com. Thanks a lot for coming out. I really appreciate all the likes, the shares, and the subscriptions have been coming in fast and furious. And I got to thank everybody for all the support. I really appreciate it. So we had a big week, in fights last weekend. I enjoyed myself as I always do completely. It was a good bunch of events, but hey, everybody makes mistakes, so let's go through it. We'll talk about what we talked about last week, and guys, I really appreciate it. Check it out. I hope you watched the fight because I certainly did, and it was amazing. So last week we're going to do the recap of the Valdez Navarrete fight, the big one that we talked about last week. And as you know, I thought Valdez was going to do the job. Well, guess what? That was not apparent, and I was wrong. Yeah, you can't win them all. That's it. That's how it happens. I thought Valdez had a little more in the tank, like I told you guys, and I was really surprised at the way that Navarrete was able to stay on the outside, using his jab, keeping him off. Of course, Valdez tried to come in, but guess what? He was blistered with a whack load of shots, and from all angles. The whole point was Navarrete at the end of the fight. I'm just gonna say looked like he had gone to like Dairy Queen for like an ice cream. He didn't have a mark on him. It was unbelievable. And we know what Valdez looked like. Well, he looked like he got thrown through a meat grinder or whatever you call it. His eyes were completely closed shut. But like I said, these are Mexican fighters. The Mexicans have the biggest heart, one of the biggest hearts as far as fighters are concerned. And they both gave it all they had. I respect them both immensely. Navarrete was impressive, very impressive. He had a wicked game plan coming in. I thought that, he did say that he had trained in Tijuana and had said that he's never lost a fight when he had trained in Tijuana. That was a kind of a little thing where I thought, you know what? He might be onto something with that. Obviously, he left his comfort zone and went into a place where he knew that he could make things better for himself, his family, and whoever. And guess what? He did not at all. That was a wipeout, really. Poor Valdez. He tried, and he did have a good fight. Like it wasn't that far off. The judges saw it really far. Like it was far, but Valdez definitely gave it his best shot. I got to say, kudos to both those guys. That was a great fight, and I really enjoyed it. Hopefully, you guys can check it out on YouTube, full fight. This, that, and everything else. As you know, you get it all on YouTube, this, that, and you can see us here at talkingfight.com all the time, every day, anytime. So that was a bit of a surprise for me. Congratulations to Mr. Navarrete. Manuel, it was Emmanuel. Uh, he really impressed me with that display. And hey, he's the champion. So kudos to him. I thought it was a great display. And I got to say, hey, I was wrong. Stuff happens. So moving forward, we're looking at the Gary Russell fight. And as we talked about, there's a bunch of Russells in boxing. So you guys can check them all out. But Antunen, Gary Antunen Russell, who is now 17-0, all right, with 17 wins by knockout, is unscathed. And he did the job. It's a hell of a fight. I got to say, Gary Russell, I had him. Chada ching, chada ching. Didn't pay a lot, but 17-0, 100% knockout rate. He's gonna be a force to be reckoned with in the future. So keep your eye on him, Mr. Russell. He was awesome. Now we're gonna move forward to this weekend. There is a huge fight. We've been talking about it all week. It's gonna be a young guy out of the. He's an Arabic kid, an Olympic champion. He's won Commonwealth titles. He's been a decorated amateur, like all through his career. And I've been kind of keeping my eye on him. He's only got 4 fights, but his management team is definitely. I can see that his confidence is good. They're keeping him under control. He is a serious threat in the flyweight division. We're going to talk about him. His name is Galal Yafai. Yafai. All right. So Yafai is going to be fighting from the same country, Tommy Frank. Now, Tommy Frank is, again, an amazing, amazing individual. He had a lot of serious health conditions when he was younger. He had a hole in his heart, apparently, when he was about 5 years old, which was repaired. And he's become a world-renowned boxer. Like he's done more than you would expect for a guy that's been through what he's been through. So they're gonna go at it this weekend. We're talking. It's going to be this weekend, Saturday, August 19th, 2023, in the Utilita Arena in Birmingham, UK. And we know that Galal is from Birmingham, and Tommy could maybe be from Birmingham. Check that out, guys. Check that out. Is he from Birmingham? It is a UK battle, and we know it can be. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a guy in Galal who is an up-and-comer, but he has the pedigree. His brothers were fighters. He comes from a fighting family. He has a really good demeanor about himself. His trainer, manager, Rob, I heard about Rob. He really keeps him grounded. He knows that he has some talent, and I've seen it. And if you check him out in any of his fights, he's spectacular. This guy is spectacular. Oh, he's from Sheffield. Oh, there you go. Well, he's from Sheffield. There you go. And they just love him. You know, he was an Olympic champion, gold medalist, 2020 in the Tokyo Olympics. So he's like the pride. He's one of those guys that, as we're moving through the ranks and stuff, that I'm really, really liking. So I'm going to do an episode on him specifically down the road, because I think this guy, from what I've seen and what I've heard, and is phenomenal. And he really is. He has everything going for him. He works the body amazingly with all his combination punches. So he has everything going for himself. His foot speed is amazing. I mean, they're flyweights. So they're smaller guys like myself. When I was in like grade 9 or something, you know, I was the same height and the same weight, 5'7", 112. Well, that ain't happening today, but I'm working on it. That's all we can do. So I'm looking at the, like, Galal is going to actually be a guy to reckon with in the flyweight division. A lot of the guys don't want to deal with him, and he's only 4-0. He's got 3 knockouts. I mean, that gives him a 75% knockout ratio. Tommy Frank is 15-3-1. He only has 3 KOs, but his heart, it's the heart that always keeps you in the fight. Always have some heart. Give yourself a little kudos, and don't give up. That's how it works. There is a 5-inch height advantage, which is interesting. Galal is 5'2", and Tommy is 5'7". So there is a bit of a, height differential, which is sometimes, being a shorter guy, works to your advantage, but sometimes it just doesn't. So Yafai is ranked. He's a ranked fighter already, and he's only 4-0. So he's ranked 10th in the WBO, 10th in the IBF, 11th in the WBA, and 14th in the WBC, which is amazing for a guy who's only 4-0. But the fact of the matter is, he's proven himself to be a proper fighter. He loves the craft. You can tell when you see him fight, he takes control of the fights. Like the 4 that he's had, which is not including his amateur career with all his medals and the Olympics and all the great stuff that he's done. He literally, to me, seems like the kind of guy who has the right demeanor to become a world champion. So you got to keep your eyes on, right? Galal. He is amazing in that sense. So you have to get within their heads at times to understand who they are, because they still have a heart. They're still, they're compassionate people. It's a sport. It is what it is, right? And some guys may take it too far, but you know what? He seems to be very grounded, and I'm sure his trainer, Rob is one of the big ones in his life. And I want to say thanks to Rob, wherever you are, because I was very impressed with how you've made Galal up to this point. And I'm sure 4 or 5 fights, guys, pretty much he's going to be in a world title fight. I guarantee it. He's right there. Yep. Rodriguez, a bunch of guys piping in. Yeah, Rodriguez is the big guy in that division. And they don't want to deal with him because they don't really know what they're going to deal with. He has blazing hand speed, blazing foot speed. He's a pressure fighter who can move you up against the ropes and really give a problem. Okay, he gives fighters a problem. So because of his speed and because of his accuracy, I noticed that his accuracy is amazing. Kind of like a Terrence Crawford kind of guy. His accuracy is amazing. So I'm really looking at it. He's in the featherweight division, which is 112 pounds, 8 stone, 50.8 kilograms. I don't talk a lot about these kind of smaller guys. We always talk about the heavyweights, the welters, the middles, light heavies and stuff like that. But you know what? This one is about the flyweights. It's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a really good fight, but I truly believe that, Tommy Frank is a good fighter. So he got there through hard work, and this and that. He deserves a fight like this. All best to him, but I'm taking Galal. All right, I'm taking Yafai in. I think he's gonna stop him in the 5th, maybe 6th round. It's going to be a stoppage, and that's what I'm calling right there. So it's going to be broadcast on DAZN. All right, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time, and 7 p.m. British Standard Time. So, of course, because they're fighting in England, the British get the 7 p.m., which is fine. You know what I'm saying? I like that part about that. Now, if you were a betting guy on this one, there's no money involved. I really wouldn't be putting any ding on it. Unless you're, this is pretty much a slam dunker in my mind. Galal is 20 minus 2,500, and Tommy Frank is plus 1,000. So, I mean, they're both British guys. They're going to fight for their right to fight, and I think it'll be good. I think it'll be a good fight, but Galal is just going to, rise above, and he's going to be somebody to watch, guys, here at Talk and Fight. We'll be talking about Galal Yafai, and check that fight out. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a good one. Apparently, too, he's the WBO International Junior Lightweight Champion, or Junior Flyweight Champion. So he does have a belt. I don't know exactly, but if you guys have any comments about the belt, the WBO International belt, let me know. There's so many belts. We're going to talk about this going forward, about all these sanctioning bodies who have different names for their divisions and different kinds of belts. There's we're going to talk about it because it's starting to get a bit confusing, but at the same time, good on him. He's an international world champion, but he wants the big belts, as you know. And he's already ranked 4-0 with 3 knockouts, so that's pretty good. So, moving on. I'd like to say thanks a lot to everybody. We've been doing really well here at Talk and Fight. I want to thank all the hosts, the sponsors, the guys behind the scenes. They've been doing amazing stuff for us. And of course, you, the fans. We cannot be here without you. And I want to say, listen, always get better. Do not get bitter. That's the way it rolls here with Neil the Deal Boxing 101. Check it out. Galal Yafai, Tommy Frank. We'll see you next week. Oh, not next week. Maybe later this week on the panel with the big man, Tim, Mikey Orr, Grumpy Graham, and of course, the man of all time, Lou Eisen. We'll see you maybe Friday. Knuckle up, knockout of the week. Thanks for coming out. Take care of yourselves. Have yourself a great week.